old process, new technology might equal really expensive old processes, right?
Several people have brought that up, and that really seems to be something that has resonated with people. Hello, it's Mark Kuhar, editor of Rock Products, and we're here at the AggNexus Digital Innovation Conference, and I'm talking to Chris Strickland from Command Alkon. Chris, how you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, we appreciate you being here. It's been a number of years. I believe I met you in Chicago back when Command Alkon had their big event there, and it's always a good time, and it's always very interesting at that event.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun, and if it wasn't that, it would probably be a World of Concrete or ConX.
It could very well.
I'm sure we've crossed paths many a time.
Made the rounds at all of those, but you've been around a long time. Give me a little bit about your journey in the industry. How did you get here from there?
Yeah, so 25 years with Command Alkon, so we're coming up in our 50th year as a company. So that's a very long time in the heavy building materials industry. So to have been there for half the time is pretty fun.
Pretty good.
I feel like I've done every job under our umbrella. I've done a little bit of consulting and project management, managing different leadership roles in business units and functional parts of our organization. Currently, I'm our SVP of strategy, really just thinking about where our products and innovations are going for our customers and the industries at large, how we can partner. I drive a lot of our partnerships and things like that as we're evolving, especially using some of these latest and greatest technologies out there. It's having been in this industry and been exposed to a lot of the almost technology pushback from the industry. It's really great. I know Pierre and quite a few people are talking about this inflection point almost that the industry is reaching in technology acceptance, which means technology providers like us, it's a real exciting time because we can start to apply technologies and some of our know-how a little bit quicker with producers and suppliers that are a little more leaning into technology these days. So
It's taken a while, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
technology has been evolving for years, but the industry hasn't necessarily been adopting it for years. So it's really a relatively recent occurrence that they're understanding the benefits. And maybe it's the influx of younger people coming up. I don't know what it is, but we're finding the industry now is really becoming more tech savvy, and it's a welcome thing to see.
Yeah, I think it's very well said. Some many years ago, we did a study where we were really looking at a lot of different industries. You could go to healthcare and automotive and forestry, agriculture. I could go on, financial industry. And if you look over like 30 years of efficiency gains and how the industry really responded, construction and heavy building materials as a result really lags, right? And there's no need for that. There's plenty of opportunities to, apply technology to gain, more efficiencies. One of the big things we feel very passionate about is that, no one does it alone in this industry. They're all in the buyer, seller or supply and demand relationships. Everyone is dependent on someone else in this industry for success. So, and I think technology is one of those like environmental factors that's enabling people to think about their relationships differently.
Well, for many years, Command Alkon has been on the cutting edge of that. It's been driving automation and processes at both aggregate operations and concrete and ready mix operations. So,
sometimes maybe too far in. Right?
Well, a lot of people had to play catch up. That's for sure. But what's the big push now that Command Alkon is into? Tell us a little bit about Command Cloud and some of the things that are now on the horizon.
Yeah, it would be no secret that we are investing very heavily in our cloud technologies. Command Cloud is that platform. What makes it unique is really, Command Alkon does a lot of things, and we operate in over 80 countries, have, probably in excess of 3,300 customers or so around the globe. So and over 50 years, we've put a lot of different technologies out there, right? A lot of those in quarries, in trucks, at plants, at asphalt plants, at ready mix plants. And as a result of that, technology in those times were on-prem. That's what technology offered. So um, now we are really accelerating the move of those on-prem capabilities to our cloud platform. And that's a very exciting time because the days of needing to wait, months or quarters or sometimes even years before upgrades are out there and you can, to gain value out of new technology. Now we're doing that in hours, right? And it's just an amazing time. So that is really our big push and investment is trying to accelerate the move of our kind of singular cloud native platform. And the thing that's unique about it is all materials and all things for the AR and the AP side of a producer's business, right? So concrete, aggregate, asphalt, quote to cash on AR, and that means everything from dispatch and production and quality control and payments and EPDs and all those things, but also even the AP side, right? We can help our customers with their purchasing process and their supply chain and reconciling and paying quicker. So that cloud has offered us the opportunity to kind of innovate at a broader spectrum than we may have seen before.
Do you find that the push for and the adoption of new technologies in the industry and across the board are making it quicker for new technologies to come out? Like just the process of bringing out a new technology doesn't take as long because of technology.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was Santosh in the session a little while ago was talking about, the days in the past of coming up with new technologies and doing a lengthy process to select and figure out all that. Well, these days, if you take too long to do that and take advantage and lean into, something else may have already come out that that can pass somebody right by. So I think we see that very similarly with the products that we are doing. We execute very quick, very agile. We have really that's a big thing. Is someone else mentioned something that really stuck out to me. Old process, new technology might equal, really expensive old processes, right?
Several people have brought that up, and that really seems to be something has resonated with people.
Right. And as a guy who personally consulted customers through like dispatch theory and all of those things and in the, probably first chunk of my career anyway, there was a certain way of doing things, then, and people have just kind of maintained that. We have actually endorsed a framework or a process called jobs to be done as we went out and started building our cloud products, because it really helped us to reframe and reimagine the jobs of the dispatcher or the batcher or the weighmaster or the quality control technician, whoever that might be. And that's really helped us think about the challenges our customers are facing today and what users are doing today versus what they were doing 20 years ago or 30 years ago in a lot of cases. And then the other thing I would say is just we certainly see it this way, is just embracing all of these new technologies that are out there. A lot of the companies are here and are doing just an incredible job. We are really helping advocate a lot of those technologies. We have a connected partner programs as an example that helps them integrate with our solution so that we can add more value together, right? So it is a very exciting time. It's and to your point, that means quicker delivery to solve problems faster.
Yes. And anymore, societies like that, it's the ATM approach. Everybody wants to push a button and get the money out of the machine. They don't want to have to go to the bank and wait in line and, hand them a slip like everybody used to do. They want to push money, get money out of the machine. So everything is just kind of accelerated, and it makes sense that the developments of those technologies have accelerated as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking about this a little bit, Mark. one of the gentlemen was talking about, you can have what was it, quality, service, or price. Pick two.
Yeah. Yep.
But he also implied that that's different for producers these days, right? Customers are expecting all those and maybe more. There's this interesting book called B4B, if you've ever heard about that. How it's kind of redefining the customer and supplier relationship to be involved in actual delivery of the value, right? As opposed to just a prototypical customer, vendor relationship. And I think that's probably becoming real, more and more real every day for our customers. And then the same for technology companies, right? These new technologies are really allowing people to do higher valued activities instead of just reporting something out as an example at the end of the month. Tell me what I can do in that instance to improve my operations. These technology can play a big role in that.
Well, talk a little bit about some of the companies that have gathered here today, kind of the whole idea of bringing together a kind of a brain swell of technology companies in one place. What does that kind of mean to information for the industry and maybe the development of new technologies?
Yeah, I actually just came out of a session with Geotech as an example, and they're a connected partner with Command Alkon, and we've known them a lot. We love what they're doing, and I've had the question from some of our mutual customers because they're presenting an awesome new technology called MixPilot for slump measurement. And Command Alkon, we also have a solution called load assurance, right? For slump and for air. And I think some might say, well, doesn't that make you competitors? I don't think Geotech, as an example, or Command Alkon see it that way anymore. It's a little bit different. We look at some customers are going to want their product, other customers are going to want our product. But if we can integrate together and give the customer what they need and do so where it's a win-win-win type of relationship. And so I think that really there were a few companies here that were a little new to me. And I see, use cases out there where they're finding successes for customers that I know we both have a relationship with, right? So I think all technology companies, there's almost like a new industry imperative to work together to raise the bar overall, if that makes sense. A rising tide rises all boats, right? That type of philosophy. So I think there's a lot more camaraderie, in the industry, particularly with technology providers and things like that than there might have been 10 years ago. And I think that's a great thing for the industry.
Yeah, without question. Without question. I think everybody benefits when, we're all heading the same direction with that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of business out there. There's hopefully enough business for everybody to, take advantage.
Yeah, a lot of problems to be solved. Right?
There will never be a lack of problems to be solved. That's one thing you can say about this industry.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for stopping in and talking with us today on the podcast. Appreciate having you here, and we look forward to seeing you on the show.
Yeah, and thank you for having me. Always a pleasure to talk. Happy to do it anytime, and thank you for what you do for the industry.
Absolutely. Well, hey, you have good people working for you. I stay in touch with Carly and Lori constantly. They're two of the best in the industry at what they do, and we appreciate what they do to help us.
I always say I've been with the company 25 years, but I started when I was 12, so I'm only 37 now. But we do. We always thought of ourselves as a solution company, not just a software company, because we can have technology, but you got to have people and coaches to hold hands, and we've got a lot of great people. There's no doubt about it. So thank you for having me.
Yep. Have a good rest of the show.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.